Narcissa Prentiss Whitman was an American missionary in the Oregon country of what would become the state of Washington. Along with Eliza Hart Spalding, she was the first European-American woman to cross the Rocky Mountains in 1836 on her way to found the Protestant Whitman Mission with her husband, Marcus, near modern-day Walla Walla, Washington. Early life. Narcissa Prentiss was born in Plattsburgh, New York, on March 14, 1808. She was the third of 9 children of Judge Stephen and Clarissa Prentiss. She was the oldest of the 5 girls, followed by Clarissa, Mary Ann, Jane, and Harriet. She also had 4 brothers. Like many young women of the era, she became caught up in the Second Great Awakening. She decided that her true calling was to become a missionary, and was accepted for missionary service in March 1835. She was educated at the Franklin Academy in Plattsburgh before her marriage to Dr. Marcus Whitman on February 18, 1836 in Angelica, New York. Her birthplace in Plattsburgh is open to the public as the Narcissa Prentiss House. Journey west. Shortly after the wedding, Narcissa and Marcus, along with the also recently married Henry and Eliza Spalding, headed west for the Oregon country in March 1836 to begin the missionary activities amongst the natives. The journey was by sleigh, canal barge, wagon, river sternwheeler, horseback, and foot. The founder of Ogden, Utah, Miles Goodyear, traveled with them until Fort Hall. On September 1, 1836, they arrived at Fort Walla Walla, a Hudson's Bay Company outpost near present-day Walla Walla, Washington. They then traveled on to Fort Vancouver, where they were hosted by Dr. John McLaughlin before returning to the Walla Walla area to build the mission. Narcissa was one of the first white women to cross the Rocky Mountains and live in the area. She was something of a novel addition to the community for the local Native Americans, the Cayuse. Whitman Mission. The Whitman Mission began to take shape in 1837, eventually growing into a major stopping point along the Oregon Trail. Methodist missionary Jason Lee would stop off in 1838 at the mission on his way east to gather reinforcements in the United States for his mission in the Willamette Valley. Then, in 1840, mountain man Joseph Meek, whom the Whitmans met on their journey to the area, stopped off on his way to the Willamette Valley. Built at Waialapu, the settlement was about 6 miles from Fort Walla Walla and along the Walla Walla River. At the mission, Narcissa gave Bible classes to the native population, as well as teaching them Western domestic chores that were unknown to the Native Americans. Besides the missionary goals of converting the natives, she also ran the household. Her daily activities included cooking, washing and ironing clothes, churning butter, making candles and soap, and baking. On March 14, 1837, on her 29th birthday, Narcissa gave birth to the first white American born in Oregon country. She named her Alice Clarissa after her mothers, and she would be their only natural child. Unfortunately, she drowned in the Walla Walla River on June 23, 1839 at age 2. Unattended for only a few moments, she had gone down to the riverbank to fill her cup with water and fell in. Though her body was found shortly after, all attempts to revive her failed. However, other children came to the mission, including the 7 Sager orphans, to whom Narcissa became a second mother. Just before winter, in late 1842, Marcus traveled back east to recruit more missionaries for the mission. During the time he was away, Narcissa traveled west and visited other outposts in the territory, including Fort Vancouver, Jason Lee's Methodist mission near present-day Salem, Oregon, and another mission near Astoria, Oregon. Marcus returned with his nephew, Perry, from his trip east in 1843. Whitman massacre. Throughout the time in Oregon Country, Narcissa and Marcus encountered trouble with the native tribes. The Cayuse and the Nez Perce tribes were suspicious of the activities and the encroachment of the Americans. As early as 1841, Tyler Ukite had tried to force them to leave Waiilapu and the ancestral homeland. In 1847, a measles epidemic broke out among the native population, spread to the natives by contact with whites. The native population lacked immunity to the disease and it spread quickly. The American populations had some limited immunity to measles, which meant a lower mortality rate than the natives. This discrepancy stirred discontent among the natives, who felt Marcus was only curing the white people while letting Indian children die. The resentment concerning all the different issues boiled over on November 29, 1847, when Tyler Ukite and others attacked the mission, killing both Marcus and Narcissa. This event would be remembered as the Whitman massacre, in which 11 others were killed and many more taken hostage. Bibliography. Jeffrey, Julie Roy, Converting the West, A Biography of Narcissa Whitman. University of Oklahoma Press, 1991. Schwant, Carlos Analdo. The Pacific Northwest, An Interpretive History. University of Nebraska Press, 1989, 1996. Thompson, Erwin N. Whitman Mission National Historic Site. Here they labored among the Cayuse Indians. National Park Service Historical Handbook Series No. 37, 1964. Eaton, Jeanette. Narcissa Whitman, Pioneer of Oregon. Harcourt Brace and Amp Co.